Good day, everyone. My name is Dana. I am from Corey's Corner Support Group, and today I'm going to be speaking about the changes that COVID-19 has on our burial traditions and ultimately how that affects us in grief at this point moving forward. So, I want to give, actually, you know what I really want to do? I want to light this candle. I want to light this candle, being symbolic of the 80,000 lives that have transitioned from this place on into another due to COVID-19. And so I just want to acknowledge the presence of the angels and the ancestors who are no longer dwelling in this realm. But look at that. That light is everything right now. So I am grateful and thankful for the angels, for the lives that have ever been changed because of those 80,000 lives that have crossed over as of now, April the 7th. To the family and friends who are left behind, please know that your loved ones are indeed shining bright right now. Whew. That just shifted me. And it's a yellow light that is behind me. So I am grateful for this time and space to share and give this information. I'm going to read a quote. The first quote. When it first started, I'm sorry, I really thought this was some bullshit. And it's not. End of quote. Next quote. There is a lot of people dying out there, and it really, really is scary. End of quote. Those two quotes were from Joseph L., who is a funeral director in New York. And so there's another funeral director by the name of Patrick K. And this quote is, "It's an extremely emotional and physically overwhelming task to be in a tractor trailer that is just full of bodies." End of quote. Beginning of the quote. Even if you're a professional who's used to, at some level, being surrounded by death, to be surrounded by that much is really a lot. And so I wanted to share and start off with those quotes from those two professionals who are dealing with not only the funeral services of the individuals who have transitioned due to this virus, but also to the loved ones who are left behind and how that affects grief. COVID-19 has changed and will continue to change our burial traditions and how we grieve. Funerals now look different. I remember reading about a situation in Sri Lanka, and there was a 76-year-old, I believe, 73, a 73-year-old Muslim man who died due to the complications of COVID, and authorities actually cremated his body 24 hours after his death. And if anyone knows about Islamic faith, uh, cremation is not one of the things that they practice. Usually it's the washing of the body, then it's the wrapping of the body, then it's prayers, and there's a burial service. And the only time that cremation is, usually warranted is, only time is usually, but they, unless there's like been foul play and stuff like that, they'll do things a little bit differently. But overall, cremation is not something that is typically a practice of people of Islamic faith. And so this son 40-something-year-old son was so distraught by what authorities in Sri Lanka had done that the son didn't even inform his mother that her husband had even died, and let alone was cremated, because the son stated that the mother was suffering from heart disease. And the news would be devastating, that one, that he passed away, and two, that he was cremated. So that just in itself just shifts, one, that authorities are just doing what they want to do, even though cremation is not necessary for individuals who have suffered from COVID, and individuals not being able to grieve the way that they once would. And that privilege that they have has been taken away from them. And I don't know how we're going to move on next to what services are looking like moving forward. I know that there are some individuals where services have been suspended, meaning that I know in New York they are moving into those who have transitioned their bodies into temporary graves, because it's not enough time for families, and it's too much pressure on the businesses to perform the duties as they would like to. I remember I was reading an article where some funeral homes and cemeteries, you're allowed to go into the cemetery, but you're not allowed to get out your vehicles. I was reading another article where individuals, that the funeral home actually allowed them to go into a parking lot, and they brought their loved ones in, like a hearse, and the individuals had to in their cars pay their respects, from car to car. They couldn't even get out. And so these are just some of the changes that we are experiencing as traditions are changing. The coming together has been prolonged, and there have been like live streamings. There have been family members who have done video chats to kind of like talk about their loved ones who have transitioned over. And we are and forever will be changed by what COVID-19 is doing. It's not a respect of religion, of sexuality, of class, of ethnicity. We are all being affected because of what is happening. And so we have permission to grieve over all of this. And I want to shift a little bit, and there has been a message that I want to just provide to individuals. If you are an individual watching this and your loved ones and people that you know have transitioned due to COVID, one of the messages that was given to me that I want to provide is, in order for you to move on, know that your loved ones have traveled and have transitioned from life to light. And it's so interesting that I have these two beaming lights and I'm not going to hide it, and I'm not going to try to maneuver it in any way. And I just feel the presence of angels and ancestors right now. And the message is that your loved ones have transitioned and have traveled from life to light. And to see it from this perspective, to give you any solace, and to be able to feel comforted at this time, just connect to your emotions. Allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to be sad. Allow yourself to be joyful and happy that that they are no longer suffering here in this space, but they have moved on. And if you're able to get to some water, whether it's, taking a bath, taking a shower, going to a river, a pond, a lake, or an ocean, and just speaking to the waters. There's a connection that water gives us in terms of spiritual connection. If you want to talk to the water, get yourself submerged in the water, send messages through the water. Your angels and your ancestors are going to be there when you get there. and allow yourself the moment and the opportunity to retreat and recharge. Recharge your spirit, recharge your emotions, recharge your body. Allow yourself, give yourself the space and the time to retreat and recharge, to go back into knowing that you can move on because your loved ones have transitioned from life to light, that you can continue to connect to your emotions and they will be present, and you just start that cycle over and over and over again. So I just want to encourage everyone to know that your angels, your ancestors and angels and those who have transitioned, those 80,000 lives that are now in another space and time, we still have access to them. And so at any time, feel free to just call their names. And I just want to spend this next minute in silence just to honor and respect who they have been in your life, for the memories that will forever be ingrained with you to carry you through, the love, the relationships, their presence, their impact on this planet has not gone unnoticed, and it will not go unnoticed. So you don't need a ceremony, a funeral, a remarks, a scripture, a group of people coming together. You have the time right now to enjoy and remember who they were and their contribution to this planet. So thank you, and until we meet again, please walk in the light of your angels and your ancestors.